Have you ever felt like you were being watched? Like someone was always around, but never close enough to talk to? I think we all have at some point in our lives. It's an unsettling feeling, isn't it? That sense of unease that something is just off, and no matter how hard you try to ignore it, it still lingers in the back of your mind. My story begins a few years ago when I was fresh out of college and had just started working at this prestigious tech company. It was one of those places where everyone seemed to be either a genius or a millionaire, or both. I felt like an imposter every single day. The office itself was massive, with glass walls and open-plan workspaces that gave it the feeling of being inside a futuristic fishbowl. People would walk by my desk constantly, but none of them ever really acknowledged me as they rushed to their meetings and presentations. One evening, I decided to stay late at the office to finish up some reports. It was around 9 p.m. when I finally closed my laptop and headed out. As I walked through the deserted corridors, I noticed a faint sound following me, almost like footsteps, but too light and irregular to be human. I quickened my pace, hoping it would go away, but the noise persisted. When I reached the parking garage, I found myself alone in complete darkness. Panic started to set in as the sound of the strange footsteps grew louder. I fumbled for my keys, my heart racing, and managed to unlock my car door just as a figure emerged from the shadows behind me. It was tall and thin, with long limbs that moved unnaturally fast. Its face was hidden in the darkness, but I could sense its eyes on me. I screamed and scrambled into my car, locking the doors behind me. As I started the engine, the figure slammed against the window, causing it to crack. The sound of glass shattering sent a chill down my spine, and I put the car into gear and sped out of the garage as fast as I could. The next day at work, I tried to forget about the incident, but the fear lingered. I started noticing people staring at me from across the office, and I couldn't shake the feeling that they were watching my every move. The sense of unease grew stronger each day until it became unbearable. One morning, while I was working on a presentation, I overheard two co-workers talking about a new employee who had been hired recently. They mentioned something about him having an odd presence and how people seemed to be drawn to him, but in a creepy way. My blood ran cold as they described his appearance: tall, thin, with long limbs that moved unnaturally fast. It couldn't be, could it? That evening, I decided to confront the new employee. As I approached his desk, he looked up and smiled at me. His eyes were mesmerizing, pulling me in like a moth to a flame. In that moment, I knew that my life would never be the same again.